There we go. Yep. Don't worry. Konar Odal 7459. I am I was muted. Well, my thing's preset. So yeah. I have returned into the world of the audible. I am kind of done with work. For the last 2 months, I've been going through a crazy rush of excessive amounts of work. And now I am finally done. First it was the book fair plus Threesome Therapy's most excessive chapter yet. And now it is whatchamacallit. It is now it was volume 4 of which book. So now both are done, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm happy that I don't have to deal with that much work again. Next week I'm gonna start working on Threesome Therapy again, obviously, but I don't have to do like 7 pages a week. I don't have to do like 30 pages a week. So that's pretty cool. Like, goddamn. If I do like 5 pages a week, maybe even less, I'll be fine. So yeah, I'm doing quite good in terms of that. I've been busy, but now I'm not that busy, which is great. So yeah. Like, fuck. I'm just so... It's like... It's a big relief to be sort of free from all that stuff. And I feel at ease. And that's pretty neat. Obviously, I still have stuff that I need to take care of. Desukon is coming soon. I think I'm gonna post Threesome Therapy on like Manga Dex or something. And then whatchamacallit, I got accepted to Weird Comic-Con in May. So that's neat, I think. I'm pretty sure that I didn't mess up and have it overlap with the Japan trip, because I think this was moved to later on in 7th of May. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be home like a couple weeks before Comic-Con is here in Helsinki. Yeah, it's 16th, 17th. So I'll have like a week, and then it's Comic-Con time. So I should get all of my stuff done before the Japan trip. Then I can be in Japan with my kokoro resting, and everything's gonna be fine. And yeah. And the Desukon sales table thingies were released. I don't know if they're on the site yet. But they sure as shit are something that was sent to me. So let me show you guys where I am in this thingy. So I'm right here. the same exact spot that I had summer. So that's great. I don't know what all of these things are. There's Manga Cafe, of course. Niramuchu, I think, has been there multiple times. I don't know about SI3 art. I don't know. The Gaigotsukiri, I know for a fact, has been there. I don't know Orange Fairy. Kawaii Otaku Crafts. That is such a cursed name. I don't know if I've seen them either. So that's pretty neat. Doki Doki is definitely someone I have seen before, I think. Game Over sells Pokemon cards, so I know them. Afternoon Fika, I have no idea who they are, but they have a massive, big-ass table right here in the middle. Then there's Goose, and the Fruit Bat Factory was definitely there. Headhunter Store. I think that's the one where they sell like the steampunk outfits and stuff like that. Kuroi Neko, I know. They are very sweet and I like them. Fin Anime is in their corner as usual. And I think I need to go... what is Lonku? Lonku got their own booth. What is Lonku? Oh, right here. Lonku. What is Lonku? What is Lonku? I don't... am I supposed to know what this is? Ito Kasi, Seriha Handcrafted, Söpö Studio. That's a very cute name. Someone I bought a burger cat from. Okay, so it means that they have upgraded from Artist Alley into here. That's awesome. Very good. Congratulations to them. I know that feeling. Retro Games Tycoon sells the Game Boy Advances and stuff like that. I don't know these other ones, maybe? But I think I was exactly here last time, too. So, that's neat. So you will be able to find me right there. And Alexander has told me that Memoirs of a Public Enemy 4 will be on time for Desukon. So that should be cool. So look forward to it, I guess. Swedish coffee and cake related, or maybe it is. But yeah, so that's neat. And do you mean the like a bunch of like those little short stories thing? That's cool. I've been advertising Alexander a lot. They apparently just won like some big award for their good work and humane methods or something. I don't know, but it was like it sounded pretty significant. And yeah. But the Memoirs 4 is probably gonna be in production starting next Monday. Today, I repotted some of my carnivorous plants. It was very, I guess I'll get my doodling thing here so that I can illustrate for you guys. Yeah, 100 word stories. Yes. I remember that. Let's flip this sideways. But I repotted some of my plants in the morning, but I ran out of moss, so I can't repot all of them. I have these like, they're like, what is wrong with my pen? They're like these kind of like almost kind of honeycomb looking things. I think they're meant for like orchids or something, and they're pretty tall, like this. And I have a bunch of plants now because, you know, she was pretty surprised when Alexander just straight up called her on the phone when she went and checked out the site and didn't reply to their email. Yeah, Alexander is he's like a super marketing master. He literally this week, he just sent me an email on Monday with like, he always sends like this smiley face. This is Alexander's smiley, right? This right here. And he always sends this smiley face, and he's like, this. This is like the way the email usually looks. And I was like I will be sending an order later on this week if everything goes as planned. And Alexander was like, great. He always has this smiley face on his emails, kind of like how I always do the smiley, the XD. But yeah, so Alexander has the books and stuff. I mean, the thank yous. That's very cool. Very cool. But I had a bunch of plans, as you know, because someone in Netherlands, unnamed someone, had a Sharism, and they sent me double order of plants. So now I've been like sort of figuring out like how do I make the situation where I can fit like multiple plants in a single pot like this. And I've been kind of Tetrising them around, and I managed to come up with a plan, but I need 2 more pots for it. So I ordered one of these 12 centimeter radius ones, and then one bigger one of a 15 centimeter size pot like this. And the idea is that since I have the king sundews, I'm gonna put them in the big pot like this, and then they're gonna be all happy there with their tentacle leaves, and they are doing pretty well. There's 3 of them. Do you have any new comic under progress, or are you gonna focus more on novels? I wonder, like, are you like a regular at my booths and stuff like that? If you are, you will know that like I will release a new comic every summer and a new novel every winter. So that's the release schedule. So I release a new comic book every summer, and I release a new novel every winter. So because it's winter, for Winter Desukon right now, the Memoirs of a Public Enemy Volume 4 is releasing, and for summer, Threesome Therapy Volume 1, which is my newest comic series, will be releasing in physical form for the first time. And then I've been requested by whatchamacallit, Punainen Jättiläinen, that they might want to have me make them like a one-shot manga. So I might do that after. We'll see, because Threesome Therapy is like a kind of a special project right now, and it's like super heavily tied to my Patreon and stuff like that. So I don't know how long I will continue it. It depends on how well it does on Patreon and stuff like that. And during this Desukon, I will be, for the first time, also be hardcore advertising my Patreon to people if they want to subscribe to it. and I will have the ability to subscribe to it directly from my sales booth. And if you subscribe, you will get some stamps on your stamp card. So you might get some rare, collectible Mae-mae trading card game cards from it. I have been on your comic courses, so I know your previous work. It's been a while though. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I release one comic and one novel every year. That's my release schedule. I always release books for Desukon, and Desukon is twice a year. One is in January, end of January, which is gonna be Desukon Frostbite this upcoming January, which is gonna be where Memoirs of a Public Enemy Volume 4 is gonna release. And then in summer, in June, Threesome Therapy will be releasing, which is my newest comic. But yes, I do still draw comics. Comics are, in my opinion, the superior format of narrative, or like just storytelling in general. But the issue is that they are a lot of time, like they take a lot of time to draw, and because I can't realistically make everything I want in comic format, and I have a lot of stories that I want to tell. So I usually do like the more happy-go-lucky stories in comics, and then I do the more serious topics in novels. But that's basically the gist of it. My next comic is like a very light-hearted, kind of horny human, I guess, like human relations kind of comic. So yeah, there will be more comics, obviously. Maybe if something magical happens, I might release 2 comics next year, because Punainen Jättiläinen or Anime Lehti or whatever, they own all of those things these days. They specifically requested that the book would be only like 100 pages long, so it's like a pretty short comic. My usual comic releases, Threesome Therapies and Moonflower Pollinations and Simmering Variant and stuff like that, are all about 150 pages. So they're like a basic manga length. And 100 pages is a little bit less. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I necessarily want it to be just 100, so I might make it like a 150, but it's gonna be like a one shot. So the story is gonna be contained within that single volume. So there is more comics incoming. The latest comic was released this summer, so about 6 months ago. Moonflower Pollination Volume 2. It is a romantic drama series, I guess. To put it like very lightly. I think that's one way to put it. The cover art looks like this. You can see it. Apparently, Net Anttila sells it or something. So, so yeah. But yeah, if you want to order it home, it's best ordered from maemecomics.com through the shop category. So yeah. But yeah, I do draw comics, of course. Manga was, or always has been, like a very special thing to me, because a long time ago, I wasn't really a big comic person, to be fair. But a long time ago, my mom, when I was like maybe on 4th grade or something, elementary school, my mom brought home Ranma, Rumiko Takahashi's mega hit series, and I was hooked immediately. I fucking loved that shit. It's so good. And it was like I didn't know that comics can handle topics like that. So it was very special to me, and because of that, I got into manga because, in my opinion, manga is better than other comics because you can handle a lot more topics in it that you can't really do in normal comics. And the fact that it was so like centered around topics that I related to very hard, I got super hooked. And because of that, I started doing comics. I've been doing other stuff and now thinking of getting back to comics. I'm stuck at the bus stop. Romance furry comic. I still haven't read the 100 comic series you may set me up to. Yeah. Oh, it's you. Okay. So stuck at the bus stop, romance comic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Reading comics is extremely good for becoming more capable of writing good stories, I think. Something that is really, really important is that when you consume a lot of comics, you sort of like, let's say that you're like into something specific. Let's say like, for me it was gender bender. Comics, which is like maybe an old-fashioned term, but basically comics that revolve around themes that are like related to gender, usually in some playful way, like characters swapping genders or a guy looking like a girl or something like that. I like that, and I'm like, okay, I consume all of it. Consume. And then I'm like, fuck, I don't have anything to read. But I love the free like feeling of getting like really thrown into a good story. So I'm like, okay, what do I like about gender bender? I like when guys turn into girls. Girls are pretty cool. And I'm like, what if the girls kissed? And then I'm into Yuri all of the sudden. So girls kissing, that's cool. And I'm consuming all of it. And there's like gender bender comics are usually very lighthearted. They're like very sort of light. But Yuri comics can sometimes be really, really toxic. They're like super, super, super fucking toxic sometimes. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like the tension, but I don't necessarily like it in a relationship context. So I'm like, okay, well, what if I can find like thrillers? And I like that. I consume. Then from thriller, I'm like, oh, what if we go one step further and it turns into horror? And I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. And then it's consume. And then Yuri, I'm like, okay, well, what if the guys or the people who are kissing are actually boys? And now I'm into BL as well. And I consume. And BL can also be really toxic sometimes. But BL also, because it's usually geared towards like a female audience, it also usually goes into like human psychology a lot. So psychological is suddenly interesting. And then I consume. And then I'm like, wait, what if I can combine these and these? And then I'm into psychological horror. And I find shit like Blood on the Tracks and other awful, awful series. And then I get strong. So basically, like this, because you consume so much, and if you like genuinely enjoy reading comics and just stories in general, you can like just dig deeper, and then once I've gone through all of this, I can write a much better story with much more robust characters than if I only looked at Genderbender, right? Because I have seen all kinds of different kinds of depictions of characters and stuff like that. So my repertoire for understanding different kinds of characters has grown significantly. So I'm not stuck in like one note. I'm not stuck thinking that this is the only way to do it. I can think that I can make characters that aren't just like me. I can make characters that aren't like shallow caricatures. I can make characters that are interesting, but also like flawed, because I consume a lot of different kinds of stories. It is really, really beneficial to be like omnivorous. Omnivorous comics, because this like sort of like really focuses, like it helps you learn what you are genuinely interested in, and what about these stories is like, if you take a step back and you start sort of looking at these things, what is like the combining factors that you enjoy about all of these things, and then you're like, okay, so I like these things, all of these things are like emotional. There's emotional stuff in them. And these ones are also emotional, but in a slightly different. So it doesn't always have to be happy emotions, but they're like emotional stuff. And then these ones are tense. So I could say that by just this like super simple simplification of this, I could say that I enjoy comics that have emotional tension. That is something that I like a lot, and every single work that I do has a lot of emotional tension, because that is like the culmination of what is something that I find really important in comics. There is like my novel series, The Memoirs of a Public Enemy, basically tells the story of a murderer, and she is super, super, super toxic and just a bad person, but she's like very like emotionally fragile and kind of really human. So there's a lot of like that kind of emotional tension to it. Is like, we want her to be happy, but we know that because of her behavior, it's probably never going to go that way. And things just keep falling into worse and worse and worse and worse situations. And I look at the series online and it has a tragedy tag, and that makes me nervous, and what the fuck is going to happen and stuff like that. And then even like in series like Clownfish Twister, which is my first series, there's a lot of emotional tension between the characters, both romantically and also from the perspective of like Ren's backstory. Ren is one of the main characters. He comes from an abusive family, and Maru's backstory, who is like insecure about his own masculinity because he thinks that he's too feminine for a guy, and their growth into that. They have a lot of emotional tension. And then in Moonflower Pollination, we have an elf who is she spent her entire life as a slave, and she's too scared to fall in love or dedicate herself to anything because she fears that everything is eventually gonna fall out of her hands. And then we have a fucking god who doesn't give a shit about humans, doesn't give a shit about anything, but slowly starts to learn to love her elf waifu. And there's a emotional tension emotional tension and like an environmental tension that is created around them. I like this kind of tension a lot. So by consuming a lot of different things, you can sort of crystallize what is it that you are actually interested in comics. And then you can be like, oh, I can basically do any kind of genre and I can enjoy it as long as it has this one core feature that is really, really important to me. So I highly recommend consuming a lot of media. It doesn't just have to be comics either. You can just do like movies and animated series or something like that. I would personally recommend that if you want to make comics, it would be good to read comics, because if you don't read comics, you don't understand the conventions of how to like structure a page or do composition and stuff like that, which you can't really learn from watching movies. You can learn how to do proper cuts and stuff like that, but you can't learn like composition from a comic standpoint, because composition in comics is a lot different than it is in other media. So from that perspective, it is important to read comics. But also, just if you want to learn how to build like a narrative, then movies and stuff like that are totally fine as well. But there's my little lecture on how to get better at narrative, I guess, or understanding what you're really interested in comics and stuff, and yeah. But yeah, I most certainly do still draw comics. I most certainly do. And even in my novels, I do illustrations that are like manga styled still, because, you know, if I know how to draw, why wouldn't I put it to a good use, right? So I make a bunch of cool illustrations for my comics, or my novels. This elven warrior who is ready for a fight, and then there's like these little sketches that the main character makes, but those I don't have rendered, so you can't see those, unfortunately. But there's a lot of stuff. I do still very much enjoy visual media, much more than just written media personally. But I have too many ideas. I already have plans for 2 other works. Memoirs of a Public Enemy, my Witch Book series, is almost done. The final volume is gonna probably have like 350 to 400 pages. Once that is done, then the entire series is gonna be complete. And then I have 2 other series that I want to start after it. One is a novel series. Well, actually 3. There's 3 series that I want to, now that I think about it. So after Memoirs is done, Verna's hair is actually kind of difficult to draw like this. She's not designed to be like doodled like one of these blob face things, because her hair kind of drapes over her face, so now her eyes are kind of shifted this way. There we go. Close enough. Once the witch books are done, I'm going to do a novel that is going to be a one-shot, and probably a comic that is going to be a one-shot. The novel is going to be some super happy-go-lucky boys love thing, and the comic is going to be a cute girls do cute things kind of moe shit series. Featuring a super antisocial girl and a super social girl who is probably a psychopath. So that's like their best friend. That's like that's gonna be like the comic and novel. And then once these are done, I will start a new novel series. Called Among the Sheep, about Amogus. And it's gonna be a super serious sci-fi thriller. And so I'm basically doing like this little break from serious stuff in the middle. To cool down my hate batteries, because my books are really dark. So I'm gonna recharge my positivity energy and let the like hatred simmer, and then I'm gonna start venting it into a Mogush over here with Yes. It's gonna be a story about a father whose wife is, or like a middle-aged man is gonna be the main character. His wife is murdered because he's like a police chief and he has to follow the law, but criminals don't, and he grows super bitter about it. His wife is murdered and he doesn't have the power to like take revenge or prevent it from happening because of like police has to always abide by law. So he grows bitter about it and he becomes like a private detective who does things under the table, and he adopts like an eldritch horror as his daughter. And there's like both like man learning to be a good father and man trying to cope with insanely crippling depression and hatred towards society. So that's like what it's gonna be about. And a lot of like super serious mysteries and stuff like that. Weird, sinister, immoral, like liminal horror and whatever. So a lot of strange things. But yeah, Moishit series is gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a single one-shot, short series. And then there's going to be a BL thing to accompany, so there's going to be like less serious things. But I am just one person, so like as much as I wish I could just do everything, I am limited. Even now, like doing 2 big books every year, 1 novel and 1 comics is a lot, but it's still within reason. It's sort of. So yeah. But this is basically like I have a lot of ideas that I want to make, and if everything goes really well, I would also like to continue working on threesome therapy. But I don't know. It all depends on how the Patreon stuff works, because sometimes it's really important to know how to let go of projects that don't sell that well or stuff like that. But TT is like my personal like. It's like my escape from reality. It's like my escapist fantasy thing that I really like. But it might be sort of just so nonsensical and lighthearted and kind of silly and horny that it's not everyone's thing, and I don't know how well it will sell. But I'm really happy about drawing it, so I'm glad I was able to draw it, even if it doesn't. Even if it doesn't end up super long. Would love to have even. So when it comes down to these projects and stuff like that, this is exactly why I always rant at my comic book classes and stuff like that, how important it is to keep your first project something short. Because if you don't learn how to finish a project, let's just leave it at how to finish. That looks so much more sus for anyone who comes in. So if you only just make like random pages here and there, and you never finish, you won't learn the feeling of how nice it feels to complete a project. Let's draw Alexander's. This is the feeling that you get from finishing a project. And you'll sort of it becomes like this snowball from here on out. This is a snowball. Let's have it like leave this little trail. Once you have finished a small project, then you know that, oh, it feels really nice to have like this complete thing that I can actually put into use. I can put it on my portfolio, I can show it to my friends, I can post it online, I can do a lot of things with a complete project, but I can't do those things with an incomplete project. So once you learn how it feels to have a complete project that you can show off that, hey, I have this is something that I finished and I have done, then people will be like, oh shit, that's pretty cool, and you will get rewarded for your effort for doing it. But when it's incomplete, there's no reward for it, because you know that you still have to keep working on it, which is why short projects are really, really good for learning. Short is good. Once you have finished a short project, then you can move on to a big one. The reason to why you don't get projects done is because you keep making them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because you don't want to make a short project, I think. And that's something that you maybe you need to find a comic that is short that you will enjoy, so you can understand that short comics can also be good. I had an advantage with short projects, because the horny side of manga is very important to me. I think it's really, really cool that there is a place in this world where comics can be like sexually charged as well, and people don't really bat an eye about it. It's like normal. So porn is like super. I think it's really, really nice that people can. Sure, you can like draw horny shit and whatever. I think that's like the essence of art, is that you can like just do whatever. Like that's kind of like art is a form of communication. So when you can communicate without having to be ashamed of the fact that you like to draw dicks or something like that, I think that's a good thing. And a really important thing about Japanese porn, or specifically drawn comic book porn, so hentai, is that they are usually about 24 pages for a single release. The doujin books are usually like 24 pages, and some of them can be really good. Sometimes they're less than that. Sometimes they're only 12, and they can still be really good. Like the story can actually be like emotionally gripping, even if the characters are fucking. There can be conversations that they have that are like something that you can relate to or find important, or maybe the character's asshole that just looks really fucking nice, and you're like, God damn, this is a good comic. So I had an understanding that there are very good short comics as well, and because of that, when I started drawing comics, I started with porn. My first one was 12 pages long. It's called The Princess and Her Sin. I think. A short comic is anything that is more than 2 pages. 1 page I wouldn't say is a short comic. But preferably like 12 pages. If you can release it in physical form, then it's a done comic. So 12 pages is bindable into a book, so 12 pages is great. My first comic was 12 pages. Then my second comic was 34 pages. This was called The Princess and Her Sin. It's a girl's love, girl kissing comic where this fucking furry ass thing that doesn't have fur fucks this girl with an enormous ass. And then My Angelic Imp was next, where this fucking super not at all designed man fucks a boy who looks like a girl who is very designed. So they don't fit at all, fit each other at all, design-wise. And then I had 54 pages in Wild Gallop, where girls dress up as horses and fuck. And then Clownfish Twister, which is like 800 pages? Yeah, there's 4 books. And it's about boys kissing. But one is a girl. And then I've moved on to shorter series, like back to shorter series, because I don't personally like super long series. I like enjoy like a 2-volume, 3-volume. 4 is like an absolute maximum for a good story, so it doesn't start dragging on. So Moonflower Pollination was 308 pages long, which is about girls kissing and the world ends for the bad guys. And Now Treason Therapy is currently at 110 pages. So, like, you don't have to always just make longer and longer projects, but because I sold this at a convention, I got some, like, people were like, oh, this is pretty cute, I like your art style, stuff like that. I got, like, people told me that this is, like, nice. Sure, it was a shit book. It looked probably awful, but I was probably one of the first few people who was actually selling porn at a convention. And the shock factor of it was something that people found pretty funny. And they wanted to be, like, buy it just for the sake of it. Then the next one also received some love, and people really liked one of the characters, the one that was designed, which I got good positive reinforcement for again, which was cool. Then Wild Gallop, which I got into an art university with. Yes, I had this porn booklet in my portfolio, and the expression of the teacher when he gave it back to me was absolutely priceless. So I'm very, very proud of this one, even though it's very old and it's not nearly as good as my modern works. But it has like a very important part in my heart, because it was the first time any like professionals acknowledged me for my works. So I got into an art uni through that. And then Clownfish Twister, while it did get a lot of hate because it was published, so it was very public. Everyone who knows me probably knows that I'm the author of Clownfish Twister. That is my most famous series for sure. And there's a lot of fans to Clownfish Twister as well. The amount of fans to Clownfish Twister in comparison with anything before this is like incomparable. There's no contest here. Even though there was a lot of negativity online about it, because obviously it's not technically as impressive as like Boku no Hero Academia, which is like, yeah, no fucking kidding. I don't have professional training or anything, so I'm just kind of trying to figure out what works and what doesn't and stuff like that. It was still a training work for me. And then there's like a lot of time between these. Clownfish Twister ended in 2019, and Moonflower Pollination released last summer, which is summer 2024. And there's a big difference that happened between these two. I have drawn a lot more. I have learned a lot more. I've done short projects that I've been, like short comics that are like 10 to 15 pages long, that I have been using to practice the techniques of drawing comics. And then I went to Japan to study comics through like an exchange thing. And I found out that they're all fucking cheaters. And they have a lot of secrets that you don't know when you live outside of Japan, which is fucking annoying. And I took those cheat codes and learned a lot. And because a lot of people complained to me about Clownfish Twister and how unreasonable the anatomy of the characters was, which is to say that their waists are like this and then their butts are like this. They're like shaped like this. A lot of the characters are. And while I personally think this is a fantastic shape to a body, a lot of people think that. So Clownfish Twister was released during the whole. There was a lot of like American political discourse online about like social justice and shit like this. So I got kind of caught in a crossfire because people who were in the like, I guess, like far right side of politics. They thought that this is like some social justice shit like body. I don't know what body positivity or something like that. And then from the social justice side, I was hated because they said that this is fetish art. So, so I got basically flamed from both sides. So instead of continuing with like a super caricaturized, instead of becoming a super caricaturized, like depicting super caricaturized anatomy, I switched over to much more realistic anatomy, and my characters are no longer like nonsensically shaped. I showed this one earlier. It's like a lot different from like if we find like, let me see if I can find Clownfish Twister first volume cover. Clownfish Twister. Do I have the cover here? I'm sure I have it somewhere. Clownfish. Yeah. So Clownfish Twister 1. The anatomy is a lot different. There are certain changes that have happened over this time frame when we're comparing these works. But to be fair, there's also 10 years of time between these. So, but you can still see some things that are still like retained in the artwork. Like, for example, the way I draw lines is like very round. The way I sort of depict layering anatomy, which is like when this part goes over that and that part goes over that, is still the same. I still do pretty thick lines. In fact, my lines are thicker now than they used to be back then. And then, like, well, you can't really see it, but I still draw like knuckles just the same way as I used to back then. Now, like, they didn't have fingernails. I do draw fingernails now. My style of drawing eyes and faces is still pretty similar to how it used to be, but like my head anatomy and stuff like that has been improving a lot. Like, for example, I can tell that his like brains have caved in over here. There should be a little bit more volume to the back of his head since he's looking directly this way, so we can see it from sideways. So it doesn't make sense that it's this small. But stuff like that. I've learned a lot about. Like, but you can still see like this, like, for example, the abdominal shape. Like, this is where the abdominal cavity is in the body, like sort of underneath the ribs, which would be like here. It is depicted exactly the same way as it was. It's just that it's anatomically correct now, but like, you know. So it's just I when I was in Japan, or when I was studying in Japan, I was like, I learned a lot of things that just, you know, make it more easily digestible to a general audience. It still has the quirks of my own style, and it's still recognizable. The caved in head is something that, yeah, I didn't really realize that my heads were caved in back then. I would so back then I used to sketch my characters like with heads like so. I remember seeing somewhere, I think it was like high school art class, that people, like, you were told that the head of a character is like an egg, like this. And I didn't realize that this is like, the idea is basically that if it's an egg, then this part of the head is like supposed to be like basically like this, and then this is like where, or this is where the jawline starts going in, and this would be like where the sort of spine is. But this egg rule only applies when the character is in this exact perspective. But when I would use the same egg rule when I would draw a character sideways, which doesn't make any sense, because then you don't have, like, the shape of a head isn't symmetrical. But I've always had a lot of issue understanding 3D shapes. One of my big weaknesses. So when I used to draw these heads, I would just use this line here instead of this line here, which is the correct, because the like brain stem goes like through here, and then the brain needs to be like here in the head. So there needs to be a lot of space for it, but you can't just do it like this, like I used to. But I've just, I guess, learned to do a lot of things differently from how it used to be. I also really like to put mouths like here. Even sometimes when the mouth is open, which makes it look so stupid, because I didn't realize that there's like a proper order to facial anatomy and stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of artists have gone through similar things. It's like a part of growth, especially if you don't have like formal training for this kind of stuff, because Finland doesn't really have professional training for comics. There are schools that teach comics, but like our teacher was teaching us anatomy like this. He was like, so this is the head, and this is like the body, and this is like the maybe that and that, and then maybe this is the leg, and maybe that's a leg, and then they're coming from behind the body for some reason, but we don't worry about that, and that's the arm, and that's the arm, and it's like 3-dimensional or something, and like this is basically what it was. He was like an underground artist, so he did extremely stylized works. So he didn't actually know how to draw anatomy. So how the fuck am I supposed to just suddenly learn it? When I'm looking at like online, there's like infinite different guides for how to draw anatomy, and I'm like which one of these should I pick? I don't know. There's too much. Like when there's too much choice, you can get like choice paralysis. Sometimes it's best if someone can be just like, do this. And you're like, okay. And in Japan, they were very sort of strict with that kind of stuff. They were just like, do this. And I'm like, okay. You had to do a lot of things that I normally would never have even thought about, which was like make an exact replica of a comic book page. I think I probably still have it somewhere on my PC. Let me see. Yeah, I think. Oh no, I don't. Oh no, these aren't rendered. Yeah, let me actually check. I mean, I think they were like tame. I'm worried though. What if it's gonna be something horny? What if I named it wrong and I just... Okay, just a second. I'll check that these aren't like something that I can't show on YouTube. There we go. Yeah, this is so this is the original over here, the blue one. It's got a mask on it. So let me actually see if I can flip it over to this one. Yeah, there we go. This is like my version, and this is the original, which I found on MangaDex. And we had to replicate, like make an exact copy of a page, just have it like side by side like this, and then just do a copy of it. And it's actually like really beneficial to do something like this if you are trying to understand like little subtleties of maybe like a particular genre, like for example manga, like for example in here you can see this super soft like erasure of the rastering over here, and when I was drawing this, you can see here that mine doesn't exactly look the same. There's like a texture to it. There's like this sort of foggy look to it, and this was because I didn't have the correct tool to make this kind of smooth transition into the raster, and just by doing that, just by checking out or like trying to do this same effect, I just realized that, oh, what if I'm missing something that the artist has? And it was, yeah, I was missing like a sandblast tool that allows you to make stuff like that. So even from just copying something exactly, you can learn things. So and I did correct his perspective at one, but yeah, our teacher was just shit. But the Japanese teachers were very, very cool. The teacher was like a 50-year-old woman who had drawn BL her entire life. It was awesome. And but yeah, just from copying, you can just learn a lot, which was really cool. I couldn't do the symbols correctly. They're a little bit wonky, like you can see they're a little bit thinner and stuff like that, so like the line weight isn't exactly the same either, because I didn't use a similar pen. Highly recommend though. The manga is called Otokonoko no Tsuma, which means basically like boy waifu. These are both men, both this one and this one. They are both men, which is great. This is a fantastic fan. I think the English title is for the fan translation is My Wife is a Man. It is a super wholesome nonsense comic that doesn't, like, nothing dramatic ever happens in it. It's just a good time. Highly recommend it. I have the entire series in my bookshelf, and it's only like 3 books. So yeah. But yeah. Never actually thought about, yeah, it's actually really like if there is a particular style of comic or just something you really like, try doing like a copy, like 1-to-1 copy, and you'll probably like, even if you don't, like, obviously you can't learn like perspective and stuff like that from it since you're just copying it, so you don't understand it, but you will learn things like, okay, what kind of tools did this person use? How can I replicate this effect? How can I do this? How can I do that? It makes your brain kind of, you know, work overdrive a little bit. So you can learn a lot, and I learned a lot, and I you know, my comics look a lot better than they used to because there's a lot of like history here. My first like comic was like in 2000 and... I don't actually know. I don't know when I made this one, the first one. I do have some copies in my bookshelf, but they're up there, and I don't feel like getting all the way up there to pick them up. They're on the top row of my bookshelf in between some other books. But there's a lot of time between these. And believe it or not, if you finish projects, it's a lot easier to see your growth. And the reason to why I don't like to like destroy my old works, even though they're really cringe, and we have like old Mae-mae cringe is like a joke in the community, because people find my old art really cringy and funny, which is like, it's embarrassing, obviously, because people can see that like like obviously, like a normal human response is to be like people are kind of like, I guess, predatory species by nature. So people can be really fucking mean. And if you show any kind of weakness, people can be super, super toxic about it. But I think that personally there is value to understanding your growth. There's a lot of value to understanding your growth, and because of that I don't really destroy my old works. So if people want to make fun of my old works, they can. It's pretty easy. The copying thing is also a thing recommended for music. Absolutely, yeah, because if you can copy a song one-to-one, for example, into FL Studio or something like that, you'll understand like how it looks on FL Studio and stuff like that, and how to search for specific instruments and stuff like that. It's probably very useful for learning how to use the software as well. But yeah, I think there is definitely value to like appreciating your old cringy works as well, and that's why I don't remove them. And that's why people can just go on my unnamed websites that I have a bunch of artwork on and go all the way back to like 2010 or something like that, when I made my account on that site, when I was definitely not 18 plus, even though it was an 18 plus site. And they can go and laugh at all of my old cringe very freely. But just checking. I'm eating Skittles. Yeah, so a lot of people made fun of my art for a very long time, but they can't really reasonably do that anymore. So I kind of like find it somewhat satisfying to be like, yeah, sure, you can make fun of my old works, but I'm better than you now. So like, shut up. And that's pretty satisfying to say. So yeah. So yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. Especially if you're like a spiteful person like I am. But yeah, absolutely, short projects are better, because especially if you can like get them physical, because then it feels like you actually made something. Even if it's just something you print in a library or whatever, if you can make like a little, like a zine out of it, just having something that you made is like a really, really, really powerful feeling. And that is something that I would highly recommend for anyone who wants to get into comics. Make a 10-page comic, make a zine out of it, and see where it goes from there. If you get that feeling that, oh fuck, this is amazing, then you're probably into drawing comics. But if you don't get that feeling, then maybe you should check out something else. Maybe try writing a novel or something. But yeah, yeah, no, I love having a position of smug superiority. Like when I went into the comic book school where I met Kuono. Kuono is on the Discord server, and he's always my assistant at Desukons, and I would say that he's a pretty close friend. And we were in the same comic book school, and when I started the school, there was like this little interview where the teacher asks like, what do you want to, like, where do you see yourself after this school is over? and I was like, I would like to move into like the professional side of this industry and try to make comics for a living. And he scoffed at me, and he said, I don't think you can. And I think from my year, or my class, I'm the only one who actually did. And now he doesn't have the guts to come over to see me at conventions anymore, because I have made more than he has. I've already got more experience with comics than he has. So, fuck him. So yeah, but he was a terrible teacher. You should never say something like that to a student. You're gonna be like, okay, are you okay with the fact that I'm gonna be a lot more strict with you if you want to see yourself in the professional industry after this? And are you do you understand that this is a tough industry in this country? So if you actually want to succeed, you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot for it, probably, unless you get insanely lucky. And you can be like realistic about it, but you cannot crush someone like that, especially on fucking first meeting. Like, why would you crush someone like that? It's like, if it was like someone other than me, especially someone who likes manga, like a lot of people in Finland, especially who like manga, are like fucking nerdy losers. Like most of us are. So if it wasn't someone who is insanely stubborn and narcissistic like me, they would have been absolutely crushed by that, and they would have probably given up immediately. They would have been basically defeated from the beginning, and then there would have been no potential for ever becoming something. Which is a super toxic thing of a teacher to say to a student. And I think probably an insanely toxic thing to say to another person in the first place. So, no, he was definitely not Galaxy Brain. He had a very antagonistic attitude, especially toward me, because I'm kind of like an uppity kind of person. I don't, that's probably a cursed term to use for that, but I'm a very, I guess antagonistic person. So if I don't like you, I'm gonna be really annoying to be with, and I'm gonna make it very known that I don't like you. And I didn't like him. He was a fucking annoying person. A stupidly unprofessional clown. There were multiple occasions where he called my art shit. So yeah. Fucking embarrassingly stupid. Unprofessional garbage. I don't know if he still teaches there, or maybe he died from lung cancer or something from his insane smoking habits. Either way, bitter emotions related to that school from that perspective. Very nice emotions and memories related to my class. We had a great time. We drew porn together, and we made fan art and stuff like that, and we sold a bunch of books and stuff like that at conventions, and we managed to get enough money to go to Japan, and that was the first time I went to Japan, and it was awesome. And while the other friendships from that school haven't really lasted, Guano did. So, you know, we still play Monster Hunter. We played Monster Hunter today for 8 hours. So, like, you know, I still keep in touch with people, but like an actual friend, I got one. So that's good. So all in all, it was I guess positive in the end. I haven't sent my new books to them anymore. I sent the entirety of Clownfish Twister there. But I did not send any other books there because they're my books. And we will play it again tomorrow. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. There's Gogmazios that needs to be farmed. But yeah, it's not like... I feel like the art industry, especially here in Finland, is always kind of like this. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And you're going to have to be a little bit narcissistic to be able to focus only on the ups. And sometimes it's impossible. Sometimes you're going to have a bad time. Sometimes you're going to be feeling like you can't keep going. Sometimes you're going to feel like shit. Sometimes you're going to find on like... Especially once you become a little bit more well-known, you're gonna find like an online conversation thread on some weird site dedicated to absolutely destroying you and everything you represent as a human being in their comments. Like, they're just making so much fun of you in like the most childish ways. And it's gonna suck. But that's how it is in here. People are generally quite bitter in Finland. So... It can be a little bit desolate to make art stuff in here. The communities are very small. It is not a like mainstream thing here, comics in general. So it is a tough audience, but luckily, like to compare, Clownfish Twister. While I was posting it on Webtoons, until they made the deal with Apple and you can't post any kind of horny comics there anymore. Clownfish Twister had over 1 million views. It was rated like semi-okay. It was like 8. And nobody ever complained about it. But as soon as it became a book here in Finland, and people like saw that it was somewhat like acknowledged, I guess, then people started hating on it. So it was a pretty shocking experience to go from like just positive people and nice people all around to a really negative audience instead. So it definitely was a shock. As we can see here, this is a shocked bear. So it made me it made me kind of grow bitter. It definitely embittered me a little bit, and I started and I'm still a pretty bitter person in general. Like, I'm Finnish as well, just like everyone else, and I wish I wasn't, but humanity is just shit, and you can't expect them to be like nice. They are always gonna be shit. That's just how it is. And this like spite and hatred, I would love to just make like really happy-go-lucky things. Oh, true. fucking cursed. I would love to just work on happy-go-lucky stuff, and everyone would love everything I do, and everything would be nice. But that's not how it is. How it is for me. So instead of just becoming like a loser who just whines online on some fucking image board or something about how people don't understand manga here in Finland or whatever. I started, like, I kept drawing porn and other nonsense horny stuff, but it became a little bit more somber. And I started working on witch books, where I vent all of my hatred. They're not happy books. So it comes like a full circle, I guess. So yeah. This is a snowball. But it's a journey. It's something that you're probably gonna be like, if you want to make comics, it's probably something that you're gonna sort of dedicate your life to an extent. Not necessarily like you have to live and breathe nothing but comics. But it's gonna be something that your entire life is gonna revolve around for the foreseeable future. So yeah. Right, I would say that I recommend it, but not necessarily in Finland. I wouldn't say that Finland is a good country for comics. People are really judgmental and stupid here. Over like the most petty reasons. And the market is also insanely small. So if you have a way to make your works international, great. If you have the skills to make something in English, great. So yeah. Personally, that's such a fucking cringe sentence. I'm not gonna read it. Personally, I'm in it for the happy-go-lucky shit. Yes, I know. Yes, can't handle any kind of serious topics in narrative. But yeah, there will be happy-go-lucky shit as well. Just happy, not horny nonsense. Well, the BL thing is probably gonna be a little bit horny. But like, not like fetishy horny. Not my usual kind of horny. It's gonna be like, you know, and then they kissed. And then they maybe touched butts. Stuff like that. But all in all, just that kind of happy stuff. Because I do need some sugar in my life every now and then as well. And it is good to have balance. Balance all the darkness with some happy nonsense and horny nonsense and whatever. I've been having a great time drawing Threesome Therapy. It's fun. It's just like put your brains like away for a few weeks and write a stupid story about how we can fit something that is not supposed to go into an asshole into an asshole. So it is it's basically like a break from all the depression of the witch books, especially since the witch books are getting way more depressing than they were in the beginning. In the beginning, the first book is kind of like happy-go-lucky, but the follow-up books they're not happy. They're actually super kind of fucked up. So yeah. But yeah, this is like, you can just absorb this here to learn all about the secrets of drawing comics. So if you're ever working on something like that, you can learn from this. Or if you're working on any kind of longer scale project, you can also learn the secrets of it from this, especially from the shocked bear, I guess. Oh, I didn't expect this stream to turn so deep. It is a very deep stream. Oh yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. I have a vacation coming up in what is it? It's gonna be at the end of January. So no, that's not it. It's after Witch Book 5, I'm gonna work on 2 different projects, a BL thing and a Moeshit thing. After they're done, I'm gonna go into Among Us. So yeah, that's how it works. So once I have my 2 weeks off at the end of January, I will be having like, I'm gonna try to take some time off from anything that kind of strains my hands, because I've been overworking to like a bad degree, where my hands have been very hurt. So I'm gonna spend like 2 weeks then to... The first Witch Book is happy. I mean, it is the happy one. It's not a happy book, for sure. But it is the happiest one of them. It's still kind of like... Okay, like, it's like... Yeah, like, it's like one of these sort of like... We have this Alexander smile here. And then it kind of goes into like this kind of state at the end. So it's kind of fucked up. But like, for example, the 3rd volume, it starts from like this kind of state, like what the fuck, and it goes into like this kind of state. So you get the 1,000-yard stare after you're done reading that. The 4th book is like, we're kind of going back to this, but we're kind of like, okay, maybe there's still some hope in here. And then we're going to the end of it, and you're gonna be like just like this, with like dark like bags under your eyes, and you're just staring into... You're gonna be tired. This is gonna be your expression after the 4th book is done. And probably the final book is it is a tragedy series, so but yeah, the final book is gonna be just like this. That this is a pretty appropriate path that we go through over this series. So the first book is like, it starts off with like the first chapter is like kind of like uplifting and heroic even. So it's like this, like, oh, okay, so this is like the drama arc of mood. So after the end of the first chapter, you're like, okay, this is pretty epic. That's pretty cool, empowering. Then after you're in then you're gonna do the second chapter. You're like, oh, this is that kind of series, and the mood is immediately destroyed. And you're gonna be miserable. And then we're gonna have a pathway up into hope again, through scary experiences and fearsome encounters. And then as the book ends, you're gonna be like this, and you're gonna be like, oh fuck. But then it's like, okay, everything's better. It has a happy end. Then the second book is like, it starts off pretty happy, kind of neutral. Actually, no, it actually starts kind of somber. It's kind of like this. It's a little bit of, maybe it's actually a little bit of a downer. So it's like this, and you're like, okay, cool. And then it's like a slowly growing tension and going up, like, okay, this is a pretty happy-go-lucky adventure, and everything's going pretty nice, and this lasts for a while. It just keeps going, like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then once we get to the like other half of the book, it's like and you're like, okay, now it's suddenly fucked up, and then it starts climbing back again, and you're like, okay, it's like hopeful again. And the third book is like, okay, tension is rising, but it's kind of still uplifting. It starts off kind of weird and scary, and then tension keeps rising. It kind of goes maybe down a little bit, and then it keeps rising again and again and again and again and again, until a specific event happens, which is gonna send this like through here, and then we're gonna uplift a little bit, like around here. You're like, okay, it's coming back, like everything is going according to plan again, and then it goes like this, and it doesn't get up from there. The ending of the third book is miserable. And fourth book is it's pretty like, okay, cool, we're going on a happy adventure. Then it's like, oh, something happens. Oh. Then tension is rising, and then something scary happens, and it's like, okay, oh shit, oh fuck. And then tension is rising again, and we're going through experiences of scary, and then something happens again, and it's like, okay, that sucks, but we managed to get through it somehow, and tension is rising, and then we're kind of like, okay, this is going pretty well, and then it's like and it never gets back up from there, and it's gonna stay there until the end of the volume, like absolutely in the depths of misery. So look forward to it, I guess. Look forward to it. It's not a happy book. But yeah, they are miserable. They are miserable books. Why, man? Why? You know, it do be like that sometimes. I have a lot of bitter emotions that I want to vent somewhere, and instead of venting them into other people, by being like a miserable person, or instead of just complaining about them online like a loser, I'm gonna put them into something cool, make them into art. So yeah, I hope people will enjoy The Memoirs of a Public Enemy Volume 4. And I'm like, the illustrations for it are really cool. They're very nice. And the story is, I think, pretty interesting too. So I'm pretty confident about it. I hope the print comes out right, and it's not like a shitty print. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm always excited for a new book that I made myself, because that is just something that I enjoy. This is the witch graph. We can understand the emotional destitution that these books are. This is wall 1. This is end of. This is V3. This is V3 end. This is V4 end. This is V5 end. So I don't know which creative outlet to focus on. I have too many interests. Then you should probably try them all out. Like, try which one allows you to create things the fastest and allows you to focus on the thing that is really important to you. If you enjoy making a story, then writing is usually faster. So if you can just write a fun story that you find interesting, that's a totally fine thing to do. And you can always just do illustrations for it yourself as well. That's pretty cool too. But yeah, I do remember that you do suffer from choice paralysis as well, which I do absolutely understand. Like, I had a lot of issues with learning how to draw stuff with choice paralysis as well. And I remember that you did like very well rendered, like super detailed images, but they were way too time consuming for comics. And you didn't know how to get like a result that you like without using a million different like things in the rendering, which makes it too time consuming. But in theory, you could use any amount of rendering and time consuming stuff in illustrations for books, because you don't have that time constraint factor of a comic. Like, in comics, you have to know how to design characters that are simple but recognizable. You have to make characters that are easy to draw, and you have to be able to yeah, there's a lot of like very intricate comics out there, but they are always quite short, and the time frame that they have been drawn over is usually very long. Like, when we started drawing this comic, it was 2016, and when we finished drawing it, it's 2020, so it takes like 4 years to release a single comic. Those are something that I would personally call like art comics, where it's like value comes from the art itself, which isn't usually the case for comics, at least the kind of comics that most people like. Most people like narrative driven comics. So you can't really focus on that kind of stuff if you only have like 50 pages of time to do the thing, because it is so time consuming to make a comic. But yeah, it is important to definitely try out different things. I didn't think that I would be able to write books. My first book was awful, but people still enjoyed it, because most people don't really have that strict of a view for like, what they focus on in like writing is the story fun, and are the characters fun? If those two things are fulfilled, then it's probably enjoyable to a majority audience. And then there's going to be like 10, 20, 30% of the audience who are more interested in stuff like the technical quality of the book, the technical quality of the writing and the text and the stylization of the or the formatting choices and stuff like these. There are people who are like into this kind of stuff too. Most people don't really care. So being too critical over yourself over not having the perfect attempt on your first try is fucking stupid. You should just get to work and make something that you enjoy. And once you have made that thing, release it, see what people think, and that's it. It's not really rocket science. Actually very simple. And yeah. I hope this has been educational. But we have learned a lot about this epic journey of becoming a comic book artist, and what kind of things to expect from it. But yeah, it's a tough time, but it's also pretty fun. Like, drawing comics is very cool. You can make characters that you like. Like, I personally very much like, characters are the most important thing in comics to me. I don't really care about how believable is the milieu, like, is the surrounding area rendered perfectly. I think if this was actually the north, the leaves on those trees would be differently shaped, because in cold regions trees have these. You are not my target audience if you think like that. My target audience are people who like fun. that's sort of a pretty good way to summarize. People who hate fun, I don't really care for them. But yeah, I was thinking that today people would like maybe send me like funny videos or something. But we've been talking about this kind of stuff instead, which is you know, pretty fun as well, to be honest. What the fuck is going on in general? First, weight loss injection. What the fuck does that even mean? Taking my first steps towards becoming a twink. What is going on? What is going on in general? I have 3 femboys into. Is he drunk? What the fuck is going on? What is weight loss injection? I need to Google this. I need to Google. What the fuck is this shit? That sounds like some fucking horseshit snake oil. Weight loss injection. Okay, weight loss injections like Wegovy, semaglutide, Saxenda, liraglutide, and Zepbound, Zyrazepatine, are prescription medications that mimic gut hormones, GLP-1s, to reduce appetite, slow digestion, and help you feel full, leading to significant weight loss alongside diet and exercise. These are used for individuals with obesity or excess weight, with health-related issues, that are typically self-administered weekly or daily, but require medical supervision due to potential side effects and costs. Mimic hormones. They copy natural hormones. Glucagon-like peptide 1. Your body releases after eating. Controls appetite. This makes you feel full faster and reduces hunger signals to your brain. Slow digestion. They slow down how quickly your stomach empties, helping you keeping you satisfied longer. Semaglutide sold as Wegovy for weight management, and Ozempic also for type 2 diabetes. I hope there's no diabetes involved with this weight loss adventure. Liraglutide sold as this. Okay. These are most effective when combined with a reduced calorie diets and increased physical activity. Injections are typically given in the stomach, thigh, or upper arm. Ugh. The medications can be expensive, but insurance may offer some coverage. Okay, if you have a BMI of over 30, you can have them. Okay, well, I don't know if that sounds... okay, well, I've never heard of something like that, but I hope it goes well. Might be Ozempic, okay. Yeah. I hope it goes well, I guess. Sounds very strange. But sure. Sometimes the general chat surprises me, catches me off guard, and I'm just like... In other news, we have started raiding in Final Fantasy XIV once more, and it was fun. We beat a train, which was pretty fun. I was able to play healer again, which is fun, because you get to whine at people, and they can't whine back, which is awesome. Everyone and their grandma is on Ozempic in the US nowadays, I hear. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. My plants are repotted, and I'm worried that they will die. I hope not. Hopefully, they will be okay. But this is always a stressful period to see how they manage. I also have all of my most of my Pokemon cards in my folders. I have 2 big folders and 2 smaller folders. And during my vacation at the end of January, I will be making short videos. I will be making short videos of my Pokemon card collection. I want to just brag about it a little bit, I guess. I learned the fight until like phase 4 and 5, and it was just YOLO until the end. Yeah, I noticed when you were just running into the fucking twisters. I didn't notice that you were YOLOing. For healer, it's like very chaotic in the beginning, and then it gets pretty chill once you start to sort of have some kind of routine for the mitigations and stuff. But the best thing is that my character's hat is enormous. There is no one else with a hat as powerful as mine. It is the most powerful hat of all time. The rest of the body is very small. The hat is very powerful though. So yeah, take that. Like nothing else, I guess, really significant to report here. I've been so busy with work that my life has been basically nothing but work, which is a little bit depressing. I had a weird message on Card Market. What a surprise. So, my Pokemon card collection, right? I have like this cool system where each page has 16 cards. So it has 4 like this. And I have like the energy card for the particular type here to signify what is this. And I got a weird message. So I ordered a bunch. So I don't have holographic versions of the energies, and I specifically wanted to make it so like I have a fire energy for any fire types that are non-holographic, and then a sparkly fire energy for any fire types that are sparkly, that are holographic. That's basically the gist of it. And I don't have these. I didn't have them. So I ordered some from Card Market, which is a shit site because there's a lot of Pokemon card scammers there. It's great for Magic the Gathering, but kind of awful for Pokemon. So I bought a bunch of these like energy cards that are holographic. And one of them, I got a message from the person who was gonna send the card to me. And it was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I sent your card to the wrong address. I'm like, okay. I would like to offer you the same card for free. I will give you a full refund. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And they're like, of course, that is if you want a free card. Smiley face. It wasn't Alexander's smiley face, so we don't know if we trust this. It was this smiley face. Pokemon card people are kind of scammy, so I don't know. This makes me feel weird. So I replied, hello, the card cost €3. Just send me another copy and we're good. I don't really care. And it's been complete radio silence since then. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? Very strange. Suspicious. Suspicious. I don't understand. It's suspicious. But it's a €3 card. Just send me another copy. I don't care. So I'm just waiting for that now, I guess. Yes, it is a sus smiley face. But luckily this time there's not like €800 involved with this. We shall see how it goes though. Also, fucking Card Market, like I got the electric energy and it was near mint, sold as near mint, which is pack fresh. It was maybe EX at best. There was a lot of scratching on the surface, right like here. You can't sell that. Like, you can't trust the grading of people on card markets. They are predatory and shit at grading, and they're expecting people to just be stupid. So if I ever buy cards from card market again, I'm gonna buy graded exclusively, because I can trust the grading even if I don't trust the grading of the idiot who is selling. I don't think... Oh, yeah. Fucking... I have a crazy, like, thing about... So PSA, like a big grading company, was revealed to be basically a scam company very recently. So I'm not gonna be grading with them anymore. They, like, started buying cards. So they grade your cards, right? And they started buying your cards at like a really good really good rate. It was like a 95% market rate. So like, oh, I'm gonna buy this PSA 9 from you for €35. Cool. And you're like, oh fuck, it wasn't a PSA 10. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna sell this PSA 9 to them for €35, and then they own the card now. They up the same certificate's grade to 10, and now they're selling it for €350. So they're being dishonest with their trades with the hopes that they will be able to sell the card at a markup, which is fucked up. Super insanely fucked up. I could practice storytelling by writing and later apply it to comics, or stick with writing if I find it to my liking. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is totally okay to test out new avenues of things. And writing, if like the story itself is important to you, you should absolutely just write stories and just get that sort of energy out of yourself, like vent it a little bit, like be like, okay, now I'm satisfied, I've gotten all of these stories out, and I'm like satisfied. And then once you're in that state, then you can be like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna try a different avenue for this. So I do recommend it. It's a great idea. But yeah, no, not gonna be grading with PSA. Fuck them. Which sucks, because most of my slabs are PSA. It's annoying. So yeah. I think I'm actually getting a little bit sleepy. It's 11:30. I have to wake up at like 8 in the morning, because my plants wake up at 8 in the morning. I have my little... So let me sort of like explain how this works here. I have this thing that has been christened the Pömpeli. It is a small portable greenhouse. It has a like a zipper here. Well, it's not really a zipper. It's like, no, actually it is a zipper. And then there is like a Velcro kind of thing down bottom here. And it looks like this. I have a bunch of junk on top of it. And then this side is closed. This side is closed. No, actually, this side has a window on it. Yeah, the back side doesn't have the window. This side has a window on it. And it wakes up at 8:30. And it starts shooting like this super powerful beam of light onto my bookshelf, which has a glass door. And it reflects back into me who is trying to sleep here. Underneath this blanket, in this bed. Like this. So there's some physics afoot. There's some physics afoot here. So yeah. My sleep schedule is actually pretty normal right now. I wake up at like 8, and I go to bed in midnight. So it's 30 minutes until midnight. I'm getting sleepy. I'm probably gonna chill out, watch some YouTube, go to bed, sleep, water my plants, play Monster Hunter with Kuono all day tomorrow. And with Amico if he actually wakes up. He did say that he's gonna wake up, but I don't know if I trust him. He is known as a very, very, very sleepy man. So we'll see. A drool, true. So yeah. So I think I'm gonna go do that. That is sleep. So I will see you guys again. Well, since now I'm not so insanely busy with work, we might have more time to stream again. Honestly, I kind of want to play a horror game. I feel like that would be fun to do for the Christmas holidays. It would be pretty cool to enjoy some scary stuff, but like fucking Silent Hill F is so expensive. It's €80 and 60 when it's on discount. It's so much. I don't want to buy it at that price. If you guys have any suggestions for great horror games that don't cost infinite money, maybe let me know, and I will look into it. And maybe we will do like a horror game enjoying streamery for the Christmas vacation. Do I have any writing tips for starters? The beginning and end are easy to come up with, and the middle is the hardest part. How to connect the dots. So when you start and when you finish, these are easy. But the middle is hard. Because the reason to this is because these parts are what we remember from stories that we consume. So like when you look at some story that you really enjoy, it starts off like, oh fuck, that's really exciting and really cool. I really like that. Cool, I remember that. And then the end is the last impression that you get from it. So if you can't fill this space between them, you're gonna have a lot of trouble with writing. I personally recommend doing process writing, which is I have Phasmo, and I have streamed Phasmo already, so no Phasmophobia. I have done that already. Fuck, I had some good point that I forgot. Yeah, process writing. Basically, when you start writing, just write the story. Don't worry about shit like the quality of it, the quality of the writing, the grammar, anything like that. We don't care about the shit. We don't worry about anything like that. once you have written the story all the way to the end, or like a single volume, which is like, if you want to write a novel, 75,000 words is usually a basic adult's novel. Once you've reached that point, and you're like, okay, that's a pretty satisfying end for a single volume, then you can go back to the story. You go all the way to the beginning of the story, and that's when you start going through it again, and you read it all over. Maybe keep like 2 weeks in between these, and then you start reading it. If you can keep more than 2 weeks, that's really good, but 2 weeks minimum. Then you start reading it, and your brain has kind of reset, and now you can go through all the grammar, you can go all through the formatting of the text. You can go like, oh, this was a good idea, I want to improve on this, I want to add more to this. I remember that in the end this is going to happen, so I could make a reference to it here, so that's going to be a more satisfying read to do. Oh, this is a really shit idea, I'm going to remove this altogether, and go through the entire story like this, and by the end of it you have a more polished product in the end. And then once that is done, then you can move into technical proofreading, which is like the proper grammar and stuff like that. So basically the first step to writing a story is to forget all about, oh, this is maybe not a super good idea, but I really like, and I like this scene and I want to write it, so I'm gonna write it down. Basically the first version of the story is like a memo for yourself, that these are the building blocks of the story that I want to use for crafting the final product. It is very, very effective, because the first part of the writing is very self-indulgent, which means that you get to basically, it's like masturbation writing. You get to just put all of your shit ideas on paper without any judgment, and you don't like worry about pointless nonsense like, is it a good story or not? If you have a good time with it, that's all that really matters. And then once you've built these building blocks, then you can start reordering them and being like, okay, well, this might be a good scene, but it maybe fits better here and stuff like that. And then once you reorder them, you can build like something actually cool from the blocks that you didn't maybe expect you could build in a different way. This one probably wouldn't be able to hold there, but like, you get the point. Just write everything first, and then start being critical. If you notice that you're getting stuck because you don't have any ideas, or because you don't think it's a good idea, then you're doing this wrong. You're gonna write everything down, even if it's a really, really awful idea. Because sometimes when you're writing a really awful idea, you are still forcing yourself to write. And if you understand the world and the characters like enough, those bad ideas can sometimes lead into good ideas. So just because it seems bad first, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have the potential to be cultivated into something good, which is why we don't throw ideas away until we have a fresh mind to look at them from. So write everything, then start refining. Write a complete story first, then start refining it into a good complete story. That is the most important rule that I can sort of give to an aspiring writer, I guess. This is a really effective way to get things done. So yeah. Well, no, Spicy Variant was actually proofread. You don't know what the original Spicy Variant was like. Maybe you would if you subscribe to Mae-mae's Patreon. So yeah, they take that, yes. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Absolutely. The first story can be complete shit as long as you're having a good time writing it. It doesn't matter. As long as you're having a good time writing it, it's totally fine if it's shit. And even if you don't feel like writing or you feel like some idea is bad, you write it anyway. You have to write. A good idea is to, if you suffer with art blocks a lot, then you be like, okay, this week I have to do 20 pages. And if you fail that, you punish yourself in some way. Like, okay, this week I can't buy myself candy. And if you succeed, then you reward yourself somehow. I buy myself candy. Wow. So then next week, even if you don't have any ideas, you're still gonna force yourself to write the 20 pages because you get some candy for it. And through this cycle, you can sort of train your brain into understanding that putting in effort through things gives you a reward. So you can sort of train your brain away from the TikTok generation of, 5 seconds instant gratification. So yeah. Yanitori. Is that Finnish? Is it a Finnish game? Or is it just for some reason, does it just for some reason have a very Finnish sounding name? But yeah, this is basically the idea. If you are having trouble with art blocks, destroy them through a reward, like a carrot and stick systems. And you have to have some mental fortitude to not reward yourself unless you fill your quota. Like, I have a thing where if I go walk for a 10-kilometer trip in a day, I get to open 4 Pokemon card packs. That's my reward to stay in shape. So that's what I do sometimes. I go out and walk over all the way to Tikkurila, which is like a little bit over 8 kilometers. And I walk back. And then I open some Pokemon cards. But X-Men's without candy sounds bad. Well, maybe you can start the writing challenge. Well, no, you should start it immediately. Like, as soon as you can, you should start it. So, I mean, just write 20 pages, right? It's not that tough. I write 20 pages in 3 hours when I'm doing this slop mode. When I do slop, like the first draft of the story, 3 hours is enough to write 20 pages. So it's not that much, you know? If you have to do this much in a single week. It's actually pretty easy. So get to work, I guess. It's a Finnish-made game. Okay, where can I find it? Is it on Steam or is it on like itch.io or something? Can you put it in the suggestions channel of the Discord server, if you would? That would be very neat. But yeah, now I have ranted enough about creative endeavors, and I will go rest myself. Maybe I will eat a muffin, because you know what? I just finished a 324-page book. So I think I deserve it. My carrot is sweeter than anyone else's because I put a lot of effort into my work. And that effort is an extra nice sweetness to it. I can promise you that. So best of luck with your projects. Steam, okay, awesome. And I will see you guys again next week, maybe with some Finnish horror. I have played one Finnish horror game. It was called Burger and Frights, and it was honestly really good. So maybe this one is as well. I would like a Mae-mae calendar with your characters. I actually made a calendar for my sister a long time ago, like a year calendar, and every few years back in the day, I used to make a calendar for my boyfriend with my characters. I guess I might make one this year as well. If he wants one. I don't know if he does anything with them. But yeah, I do sometimes. But I don't sell calendars because they're a very bad product to sell because they get old after like the first month of selling them. Because, you know, and people don't really use physical calendars anymore, which is unfortunate. But digital age is here and all that, so yeah. But yeah, I will go to sleep. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys again maybe a little bit earlier than usual next week. We'll see. Bye. I'll look into it. I'll look into the